You'll never find information like this ever on YouTube. Like only Nick and I are going to drop the secrets behind DPDR recovery and how to actually rewire your brain.
It was life or death. I chose life, right? I chose to dedicate my life towards finding a solution for myself. So, and also so I could help other people as well.
It shattered my reality. It shattered everything I knew.
It feels like you're in like third person or like living in a video game.
I recovered in 5 weeks.
For everyone who's been through it, it is the most scary thing ever.
You can choose after watching this if you're going to be stuck with DPDR or if you're going to make a change and actually recover and have a story to tell. All right, what's up, guys? I'm Andres Wolf, founder of Reality Reconnect. I myself and my team have helped 129 people make a full recovery from DPDR. And today I'm with my guest.
My name is Nick Dorenzo. I'm the founder of the Highest Self program, and I help people effortlessly, fully overcome DPDR in weeks.
Absolutely. Let's go. And today is a very special day. Today's a special day because you'll never find information like this ever on YouTube. Like only Nick and I are going to drop the secrets behind DPDR recovery and how to actually rewire your brain to fully overcome this. And I want to take a second to say how just special it is to have this opportunity, have this platform to even talk like this, because Nick and I used to be literally just like you guys. Like literally not that long ago, a year and a half ago, we were just like you, also on YouTube, searching up how to overcome DPDR, how to get rid of derealization. And now we have the platform to actually help you watching this right now. So it's awesome. So Nick, I want to start with you. Like, what was life like before DPDR?
Yeah, so before DPDR, life was just completely normal life. Like I played sports, I was just a normal kid, like, high school, middle school, like my whole life was just like textbook, just a normal kid. Life was honestly just like a normal life. I never really experienced, anxiety, any of those things before this. And that's why it was so drastic. And it really, because I used to almost, make fun of anxiety and these things. And I never really understood people.
100%.
And that was the thing.
Yeah, I'll second that. I was like the same way. Like growing up, obviously I played sports, a lot of tennis, just dedicated my whole life to tennis. And I always heard like of mental health and like depression, anxiety, but I was like, I couldn't understand it. It was kind of like another language to me. And when people would have bad experiences with, for example, weed, I would be like, why? Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then everything shifted, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, throughout my life, like it was, so like what really caused it for me, what caused it for me, I'd say was, I want to go into like how it first started. So when I first experienced DPDR, it wasn't like sudden, a lot of times people say, panic attack or huge moment, like that one specific moment. I had that later on, but for me, it was mainly like I would smoke weed and I would experience these feelings, and it was like on and off, and I didn't really understand what was happening. It felt like there was like almost like a fog over me. So it took me, years of that, and then that faded away. Okay, so I kept going on with that. I kept dabbling. I kept experiencing those things, and all of a sudden, I was at a football practice, and all of a sudden, I felt these feelings, just like I thought I was gonna pass out. I had these crazy visual like symptoms, and I would see things, and I went to the trainer, and I would ask him, like, he was giving me things for like my blood sugar and all these things. I had no idea what was happening.
Yeah,
like the blood sugar thing. And turns out I went home and I chugged Gatorades and stuff. Went to the hospital. All these things happened, and yeah, it was at the end of the day, like I had no idea what was going on, and then the hospital told me I was completely fine.
So that was like the turning point for you when you first experienced it, like really bad.
Yeah.
I feel you. And we share a very similar story that we were smoking weed before this, and like maybe about like 75% of my clients, I'm sure your clients too, come to you with, they've been smoking, or there was like one bad experience, or it was like years of it, and now it kind of things flipped. And then it just happens, For me personally, it was a panic attack. Like I'll never forget that day, like I'll never forget the day. Backtrack a little bit. I mean, I was smoking a good bit prior to this, like a year and a half of it, and I never had a bad experience on it. Like it was fine. It was great. But then I started doing it like very, very, very frequently. Yeah. And then I dabbled in some mushrooms. And from there, the mushrooms it was a great experience I had on them, but like I kept doing it, and I was smoking at the time, and all these things added up to where my nervous system hit that point where it just, it just snaps. And that's the night I had, literally, where it was like the most terrifying, horrible night of my life, where like it was horrible. I thought I was gonna die. Like I had already texted my best friend, like, I love you, but like it's time for me to go. Texted my girlfriend. Like, I truly believed I was gonna die that night. And then my friends came in and they were like, what's wrong? And then they're like, oh, you're having a panic attack. And I was like, what's a panic attack? This is not a panic attack. Like, I'm dying. Like, you don't understand. My brain's broken. And I kept saying that all night. All night, I remember I kept repeating it to my friend, like, bro, you don't get it. My brain is broken. Like, it's never going to be the same again. And that's the first time I experienced those horrible intrusive thoughts, like the existential thoughts, where I literally thought, like, I knew I was in my room, or I was in the room I was living in, but it felt like I was in like a horror movie. It felt like I was in a nightmare that I couldn't wake up from. It's terrible.
Yeah. Dude. And that's very similar to like my experience. And I don't think I went like as in depth. Like when I first started to experience these things, like I thought like every single day for like the first, I'd say, month of even experiencing it, I thought like literally something terrible was gonna happen. I had crazy thoughts, like I was gonna disappear, and it was just like, it's so hard to explain because you don't have anyone else that has been through it, does relate to you, and it's like you're the only person in the whole entire world experiencing these things.
100%, and that's one of the worst parts about it. Like, and still, like, even months after I had that experience, like, I genuinely believed I was the only person in the world going through this, and that's why I think what we're doing right now is so amazing, because like, it'll show people that they're not alone. And that if there's one thing I want people to take from this podcast, obviously how to overcome it when we talk about it later, but like, you're not alone. Like, I promise you, everything you're going through, I don't care how crazy it is, and we'll go through all the symptoms in a sec. No matter how crazy it is, like, people are experiencing that. You're not alone,
Absolutely.
So, after that day for me, it's kind of when the disconnection started. I woke up foggy. I felt like I was living in a movie. I felt like my eyes were like, vision was staticky. Almost felt like I was still high, but it was impossible. Days went on. Wasn't getting any better. And we all know the researching rabbit hole. That same day, that day was the worst researching ever. Like Reddit, Quora, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. People are probably doing that right now. That's how they stumbled across this video, honestly. And we get that. Like, I know what that's like to feel like, holy crap, like, my life is over. Like, there's this thing called DPDR, and I have it. And, people have had it for 10, 20, 30 years. How long is this going to take for me? Am I going to be stuck like this forever? It's horrible,
Dude, yeah. Like, some of the thoughts that happen, like some of the thoughts that come up are just the most insane thoughts that, like, a normal person views someone that's never been through it, and they're like, what is happening? Like, what are you talking about? And that's why a lot of times when you're experiencing these things, when you have these symptoms, trying to even, like, I never even really explained it to anyone. It was almost like this hidden secret that I just experienced every single day, because trying to put it into words and actually explain what was going on, it's no language for it. It's a feeling, and it's something that you can't put into a language. So it's like, it's when you're going through it, it's like there's nothing wrong. People could ask you, like, what's wrong? And you're just like,
my reality's broken. Like, that's what I was telling you the other day. Like, you were bringing up the same point, and I was like, the way I would explain it, if I had to, but I didn't, like, my reality's broken. Everything's wrong. There's not a single thing right. I don't know who I am. I don't even know why I'm in this body. Like, I don't even know how I'm seeing things through my eyes right now. Nothing feels real. It's horrible. So while we're on that topic, I definitely want to bring up all the symptoms that we experience, because, like I said, if there's one thing I want people to know, is that their symptoms are valid. They're normal. We've been there. All our clients have been there. Bottom line,
of course.
So let's start with, just off the top of my head, one of the worst symptoms I had was just feeling like things aren't real, quite literally. Feeling like the derealization aspect of things, where everything around you just doesn't feel real. So you can start things off. Like, how did you experience that?
The symptom of, like, nothing's real, by far, like, one of the most common, like, obviously derealization, but it's surreal too when you look at, like, your own hands, and it's like
depersonalization.
Depersonalization. And things around you, like you hold an object and you're just like, things just look weird, or like 2D vision, like the unreal feelings. Again, there's no words to really put it into words. It's a feeling. And when I went through it, like, no, I would remember, like, I would either, it affected me the most personally, like when I talked to family members or friends that I knew really closely, because it was like, they don't look real. How? And then you start to question these things, and it's almost like you start to spiral, and you're just trying to figure out why this is like it shouldn't be a thing, right? Like you get these thoughts of like, why is this even happening?
Why is
to
it a
me?
thing?
Like, yeah, like
And
why is this a thing?
one of the things I struggle with the most is like, why don't people talk about this more? Like there has to be something wrong with me, because there's like in my head, like there is no way there's other people experiencing this, and this isn't like a breaking news across the world. I swear to God, that's how I felt. I was like, if I can experience this, and people claim they experience it, why is this not like straight up breaking news? Because it shattered my reality. It shattered everything I knew. And like you said, like nothing felt real. Like talking to my family was the worst. I felt like they were aliens. Yeah. Like sometimes I would analyze their face as they were talking, and like I could just point out the facial features they had, and I was like, what the hell? Like
so bad.
It was like it was an alien. Like I remember talking to my mom, and it's like my own mom. It's like she didn't even like it felt like she was my mom, but it didn't feel like I didn't remember. Just it didn't make sense. Nothing made sense. You know, like that cup right there, nothing made sense. Nothing. You know, so the derealization aspect of things, just straight up things not feeling real. And we have so many symptoms, and it's important to bring up, like, there are hundreds of symptoms, hundreds. So we're going to go down a list of like probably 50 right now.
Let's do it.
But there's so many, and there's certain ones that are undescribable, so you can't even put it into words, you know? Let's talk about depersonalization. Feeling like your own body isn't real. Feeling like you don't know who you are as a person. You know, how did you experience that?
So depersonalization, there was a period to where it was like strictly, like I've been in many waves of the derealization, depersonalization, and I've had like stages where it was just depersonalization. And I have to say, like, that was so terrifying. And a lot of times it feels like you're in like third person or like living in a video game. You'd like wake up, and I remember it hit me like first thing in the morning so bad. And like even I hold my phone, and it was like I'm not even holding my own phone. So depersonalization was by far one of the scariest things.
Yeah, I think it's just as bad as any of the other ones. It's horrible. You know, just feeling like your own hands don't belong to you, and almost I felt like I was trapped in my body, and I felt like I was literally just dropped on earth. And now I had to live my life as a human. And I was like almost faking faking my whole existence. It was horrible. You know, even like down to like looking at myself in the mirror. Like if I looked at myself right now, I would freak out, because I was like, who is this person? How are they talking? How are my hands moving? How does my brain connect with my feet to move? And how do I walk and run? Obviously, that's part of the existential side of things, the hyper-awareness too, but the depersonalization was horrible. Feeling like you're floating behind your head, like things are like third person, and like you're moving your hands, but you're like controlling a human that's moving his hands. Horrible.
It was like the depersonalization when I was talking to people, for me especially, hit because I would like, it wasn't even like me speaking. I didn't even mention that one. So like not even feeling like I'm the one talking was honestly the most uncomfortable. It's hard to explain because it was just extremely uncomfortable to the point where like it just never went away for so long. And I thought that it would last forever. And and that's one of the things too, is like you experience these things, and it really feels like in the moment this isn't something that will ever go away. It seems impossible to go away. You don't even remember what it's like to not have it.
Impossible. I believe like that was my self-limiting belief for so long, and that held me back in every area of recovery. It's like I genuinely thought it was impossible. So like that's why even when I would search up on YouTube or TikTok and like these people claim they had it, I just wouldn't even believe them. And that was the worst thing. It's like I couldn't even believe. I felt like people were lying to me. You know, if I saw something like this, hopefully I wouldn't have thought it was a lie, but I genuinely thought like it was impossible that they have what I have. Impossible. And it's impossible to recover. Like this is permanent. You know?
Dude,
It's like, the worst. The fear of permanence is one of the symptoms. So let's talk about that. You know? Like genuinely believing it was never going to go away.
It's a symptom of DPDR. Like so many people, you know, will reach out to me specifically, and they're like, this is going to last forever. But no. Like my experience is different. I'm telling you, every single person that ever goes through DPDR, that ever reaches out to me and Andres, we have to understand that like each and every single person, including us, thought that it was permanent. It will last forever.
Special.
That
Yeah,
we
let's
was
talk about that.
exceptional.
It's another fascinating symptom
Yeah.
that we've all been through. It's like feeling like we are special, feeling like our DPDR is somehow different, special, or like Nick doesn't have a symptom that I have, and Andres doesn't have the symptom that I have, and that's another thing that fucked me over so bad.
Yeah.
Because I kept looking down YouTube or anything to try to get the perfect person to match my exact description, and if anything was off, even a tiny bit, I would be like, nah, mine is different. And that's what I'm telling you right now. If you're watching this and you have that mindset, that will single-handedly take you down. That will single-handedly force you to never recover. Yeah. Never recover. Because there's no one going to be exactly down to the minuscule detail like you, but we're 99%, similar.
What I can say about that is like, there's never going to be a perfect moment, a perfect time, a perfect, like the day that hits where it's like, wow, I can start now. The only way to have a perfect plan is to have an imperfect plan and perfect it, right? So starting off with something, that's how you create a perfect thing. A perfect life is impossible, but you can perfect your life. So at the end of the day, like there's never going to be someone who is you. We all have our own things, but everyone has their own thing and they think that their thing is the worst, right?
That's it. And it's funny because like I get thousands of messages and I promise every single person, like probably not. There's actually been a couple in my program who are like, oh, I actually didn't think I was special. Like I saw one of your clients and they were exactly like me. And I was like, okay, that's actually great. But 99% of people like think that their case is special, different, too far gone. Like their brain is broken. Like they're the one exception in this world that won't recover. They'll see us like, yeah, Nick can recover, Andres can recover, all of their clients can recover, but like, for me, it's different,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that single-handedly almost destroyed my life, Yeah. So, that's that. What else we got off the top of my head? Existential thoughts. I feel like we just got to rip a Band-Aid off. That is the worst. Like, the existential crisis I went through was otherworldly. I still remember vividly going on Google and searching up existential crisis, midlife crisis, quarter-life crisis, just because I was in such a horrible identity existential crisis. Yeah. What was that like for you?
Yeah, dude. Existential thoughts were so bad. And it's like, if you guys don't have DPDR, for anyone who has never been through it, I'm sure like everyone has it, but the way to describe that to someone who hasn't been through it is like when you smoke weed and you start questioning your existence, but every single second of the day, all day, every single day. And, for everyone who's been through it, it is the most scary thing ever because, for me, like I would think about like it sounds ridiculous. I'd be up so late. It'd be every single day. I'd think about death and, my relationship with God. I was super, super close to God. Like before, I wouldn't say super close, but, my faith was super important to me. And that started to fade away because I started to question, like, why am I going through these things? And for me, I was scared of death. Like that was my thing. I'm sure I talked to you a little bit. You said like yours was a little bit different than that.
Yeah.
For me, I was terrified of dying. And because, I was just so scared I would be afraid to live, but afraid to die. So I was just
I think that's funny because like I was scared of my existence. Like I had a fear of existence itself. Yeah. So like sometimes where I would like become aware that I was alive and that I existed, that used to freak me out so horribly. Like so horribly. When I would just like, that's why I'm saying when I would look at myself in the mirror sometimes and I was like, wait, like I'm existing. I'm a human in this body. Yeah. And I have hands and I have like XYZ. It would kill me. It would destroy me. And just the existential thoughts, it was like a crisis 24/7. There's no other way to explain it. It's like an existential loop 24/7. Like the intrusive thoughts, the existential thoughts, like questioning. It was the weirdest thing where I would question, like, there was times where I genuinely believed, like, I would phase through walls. Or, like, I believed, like, I could, like, just fall through, like, the cracks of the universe. And, like, I would enter a black hole. It was horrible, Like, I was like, why do humans exist? The concept of humans messed me up for so long. Like, the concept of how we're here, why we're here, and, like, the fact that we're, like, technically, like, a species, and, like, we were, like, a life form, and we had houses and cars and civilizations and countries, and we had flying tubes going through the sky called planes. Horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
It makes you feel unhuman for sure.
Bro, that's the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the worst part of DPDR. It takes away humanity. It takes away normalcy as a whole.
Yeah.
So you're just like living, but not living. You're just existing in this body from a third person POV, completely disconnected from reality and from everything you've once known.
Absolutely. Dude, it's the most uncomfortable thing. And I do want to talk about another symptom. My worst symptom, I'd say all the time. So it was existential thoughts, but visual symptoms for me were so bad because it made me really believe that, you know, like it wasn't DPDR. You know, you look at all these things in visual snow syndrome, HPPD, all these other things, you start questioning, like, is this really DPDR? And then also it reminds you, like, because you wake up and the first thing you see is the staticky vision in your eyes.
100%.
And it freaks you out. And then you're always reminded. It's like, I used to always say, how could I forget about something that's literally right in front of me?
That's like the worst part too, just because of how constantly it reminds you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you don't get a second of a break because the staticky vision's always there. The visual snow's always there. It's not the visual snow, it's the eye floaters, you know?
Yeah.
And eye floaters, did you have eye floaters?
Yeah. Yeah. Like when I'd go outside, I'd have like
the eye floaters are like, for me, they look like little lines or like little worms damn near.
Yeah, that's it.
And it would just mess me up so bad because it makes you feel like you're going crazy. That's another symptom we can get into. Let's stick with the visual distortions for now. But like things popping in and out, like lights being so bright, the eye floaters, like they were everywhere. They were everywhere. And I thought I was losing my vision. I went to so many eye doctors, like trying to find out what's wrong with me. They all said I'm completely fine, maybe a little bit dryness of the eyes. That's what they said.
I did the same
thing. That was it. Yeah. I feel like everyone's done that. Everyone's done the same thing. All my clients have been through the same thing. Doctor, therapist, and now us. Or trying something else and now us. You know? But the visual sucked. It sucked. Because it's just a constant reminder that you're stuck in this thing.
Yeah.
I hated it. So
and I get crazy visual symptoms where it was like, even my phone lights. So it'd be at night. Like you'd flash my phone like this and I'd see like a flash or cars would come by and it was like an after image.
Oh,
images. Yeah.
So true. The after images. For me, it felt like it was choppy vision. Like I would move my head, but then it would kind of like delay. Like every time I moved my head. It was like low frame per second, quite literally. It was terrible. We definitely touched on the visual symptoms there. Now feeling like you're going crazy. I feel like I have to bring that up just because it was one of the worst symptoms for me. Like genuinely feeling like I was schizophrenic or I had psychosis or I was just, my brain was broken. It was horrible. You know, there were so many times where like I genuinely like came to terms with the fact I had some type of psychosis, schizophrenia. Like I still remember the day, like I was in my bathroom and I was like, that's it. Like my life has come to this. I have psychosis or schizophrenia. I was searching up psych wards. There was a couple near me. I was like going on their website and stuff. Bad. Horrible, man. Like feeling like you're going crazy and feeling like you're losing your mind, like you're insane. That's one of the worst feelings.
Yeah, dude. Like the schizophrenia thoughts.
Terrible.
It's insane because your mind's racing, right? Like your mind's telling you all these things, and intrusive thoughts are coming in 100 miles a minute. You know, it feels like you just can't slow down and think about one thing, and that was one of the worst things for me. It was like these so many thoughts, you don't even know what to believe. You don't even know if they're your own thoughts. Like detaching from your own thoughts, terrifying. For sure.
We can go ahead and talk about that, just the intrusive thoughts aspect of things. Terrible. You know, a lot of my clients come to me with OCD or OCD-like symptoms. It's also important to know, I want to say this, that like every single person with severe DPDR and anxiety has some form of intrusive thoughts. Yeah. And labeling as OCD can be very, very dangerous. And getting diagnosed OCD, like I have so many clients that come to me were diagnosed OCD for years and years and years, and they've held on to that label. So we have to do complete identity retraining because they're stuck to that label. But then as soon as they're out of it, you know?
Yeah.
So with the OCD-like symptoms, what I experienced was just horrible intrusive thoughts, just like about the worst things, you know, about horrible things, you know. There's a lot of people can relate to like the sexual intrusive thoughts, just terrifying, like doing horrible things to other people or to your family members or to yourself, or just literally everything under the sun.
Yeah.
You know, what was your experience with intrusive?
Yeah,
thoughts?
intrusive thoughts are just like they make you really question who you are. Like a lot of times, you know the symptom of like not even recognizing who you are anymore. It's like when you have all these intrusive thoughts, you're like almost scared of yourself because you get all these crazy things. Like I used to have crazy thoughts, just like most insane, bizarre thoughts of like you could hurt your family, your friends, yourself,
100%.
all these things. And what I can say is like if you have intrusive thoughts, someone who's actually been through it, there's no way that these are actually going to happen, right? They're not actually something that is real in the sense of like these thoughts aren't you, and just that fact that you know that they aren't you shows that they're an intrusive thought. And thoughts aren't the problem, right? It's how you responding to these thoughts, it's the way you're looking at the thoughts, it's your perception of these thoughts, and they don't have to be as impactful as they seem to be a lot of times.
100% agree. And I'll second that when it comes to like existential thoughts in particular, something I wish I would have known. The reason why you're getting these thoughts in the first place is because your mind is essentially trying to make sense of this whole state you're in, okay? And when it doesn't make sense of the outside world, it starts looking inward. It goes into an introspective state where you start to question everything. It starts to question everything subconsciously. And that's why you get these thoughts like, why am I here? You know, how do my hands move? How do I talk? And you go down this rabbit hole of the more you entertain the thoughts, because they are scary and you do actually try to figure it out. But the more you try to figure it out and figure it out and figure it out, you're letting your brain know, like, this is something that we want. And it just keeps firing off, you know? And I definitely want to go more in depth on that and how, like, the brain works later on. But yeah, that's definitely that. What else we got? Let's pull out the list. We got so many.
There's so many symptoms to DPDR, guys. So like if you're experiencing anything, there's no such thing like if you're experiencing any symptom, right? Like there's a good chance there are literally millions and millions of people who have experienced exactly what you're experiencing into the depth of what you're experiencing.
Yeah, let's fire off some quick ones that we just distorted sense of time. Distorted sense of time, like feeling like just like time it doesn't exist damn near, or like things go too fast or too slow.
Yeah, my biggest fear was with the distorted sense of time. My biggest fear was like that time would move so fast that I miss out on my whole life. And I remember saying like, okay, when I'm like my whole 20s, if they go by 30s, 40s, I'm gonna be like 80 years old, still experiencing these symptoms, still going through these exact same things, and nothing will ever change, right? So time was my biggest fear. Was literally living my whole life, living an average, mediocre life, not being able to ever get past that, for sure.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that. And then feeling like you're a robot, feeling like you're on autopilot, you know, something we brought up recently. Fear of going crazy or losing control, intrusive thoughts, heightened self-awareness. This goes hand in hand with DPDR. Like, you're just so self-aware of everything. Like, I remember I used to have moments where I become super self-aware of my breathing and my heart rate and then my blinking. And it would just be this crazy, like, I was monitoring constantly how I felt, what I was feeling, the sensations I was going through. And that just spiraled into more anxiety. Did you ever have that?
Yeah, dude, like being so self-aware over everything you do, every word you say, being in my head after, you know, not knowing if people think something's wrong. Like I hated like the fact that I had numbness of, I don't think we mentioned the emotional numbness.
We're going to, yeah.
Yeah, but when we get into that, I get these thoughts and I just be so self-aware of like, oh my God, like why is this happening to me? Why is this going on? Where am I going in life? You start questioning everything and you start noticing every little thing that's happening to you, all of that, man.
1,000%. 1,000%. What else we got? Intrusive thoughts, we just said. Feelings of unreality, feeling like you're living your life through a screen or through a movie. Absolutely. Loss of emotions. We can get into that right now.
Yeah.
Like, for me, loss of emotions just felt like nothing really mattered in a sense. Like, I was so emotionally numb that, like, I didn't feel love for my girlfriend, for example, which was horrible at the time. Like, I felt so guilty not being able to feel that love I once had for her. Same thing with my mom. Same thing with my little brother, my entire family. Just not feeling the love, not feeling the connection. It was horrible.
Yeah, the disconnection from people, yourself, like emotions in general is absolutely terrible. And like the sadness, like not being able to feel even sad. Like I remember I literally crave the ability to be able to be sad or to be able to have any emotion besides anger and just nothing. Like
I
yeah,
remember that
for sure.
too. And I think that's what stopped me from like going all in, because like I would feel motivated for like a second.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's like I was motivated to recover,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't feel the emotion. And
Yeah.
obviously, emotion is the biggest driver of behavior. So I couldn't tap into it. And I would just be like, whatever, like, it doesn't even matter. You're like, it's not
Yeah.
even worth it, you know? There were times where I was so disconnected from my emotions. It was like, I had no empathy for anyone, for anything. I remember thinking to myself, actually, this did happen. My great grandma passed while I was going through it. I just like, I saw my mom crying and everyone crying, but I was just like, fuck, like,
Yeah.
I just don't feel anything. And it was so guilty. It was so terrible, like, going through that.
Yeah, and I could like I call that knowing without but not actually feeling. Like you know that you're sad. Like sometimes you know that you are, but like you don't actually feel it. You know that you should. And I've seen a lot of clients, and I've had similar things of this. Is like you're in a relationship while you're in these emotions, and it's like you don't even know if this relationship is for you or if.
100%.
And you start questioning things about the relationship. It can almost ruin relationships too. It's like-
100%. Like I have one client right now who she's very new to the program, but she's very hyper fixated on how she feels about her partner, and it's ruining her life. You know, we can call that ROCD, relationship OCD, or we can just call it for what it is, which is like you're obsessed with your relationship, and it's very common. It's actually very common, way more common than you would think. Just be really hyper fixated or focused about your partner, like anything else in life, you know, like it really sucks. So yeah, I think we covered that pretty well. What else we got? Not recognize yourself in the mirror or with people in your life. Obviously, depersonalization, experiencing the world as dreamlike. Yeah, a lot of people experience DPDR as like they're living inside of a dream or feeling like they're still dreaming.
Yeah.
I definitely had moments of that, but I would say mine was just more of like, I just felt like I was behind my eyes. I felt just disconnected from the world entirely, you know? So I felt like I was literally like just sitting, chilling behind my eyes as like I was living out this life as a human.
Yeah. That's such a good way to describe it. The behind the eyes, so bad. But my biggest thing with the dream is like, am I going to wake up one day and it's like, oh, I actually woke up from the dream. I snapped out of it. And like, that was my thing, was like, I'm going to wake up one day and this is going to be the dream. Like, what if that happens? So yeah, like those thoughts can eat you alive for sure. Is like thinking if you're in a dream, all these things.
100%.
Physical numbness too. A lot of times, like
physical numbness, 100%.
you just like want to be able to feel pain in some sort. Because like you're in a state to where it's like you don't even feel emotional, physical pain. It's like a lot of times you guys take things for granted before you're in them, and I did, you know, myself. And when you're in that moment, like that is actually what makes you being able to appreciate those things for sure.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Feeling out of sync or not really present in your life. Oh, yeah, a lot of people describe it as I'm here, but I'm not here. That's how I felt like. I felt like I was here, but I was like not here.
Your mind's
I was
100
like,
miles away.
I felt like I was almost like a ghost. I explained this to my aunt once because she asked me like, what did it feel like to experience DPDR? I was like, the best way I can explain it, or one of the best ways, just like I felt like I was a ghost. I felt like I was empty and I could just phase through walls. And there was times where I feel like I could phase through the universe, or I could phase through dimensions. Like with every step I took, I was phasing through another dimension of reality.
Oh yeah, no, exactly, man. And you know, another thought is like when you go outside, you have crazy fears of like you getting swept up into the universe. You just crazy thoughts. Yeah.
I've actually thought that multiple times. Yeah, I remember. I think I said earlier, but like I felt like the floor wasn't solid or something, so I could just slip right through it and just like be, you know, like just fall. Like I don't know how else to explain it.
And the thing is, guys, these thoughts, it's like when you say them in words, you think you sound crazy. And you think people are gonna think you're crazy, but at the end of the day, like there's no language for these things. These are all feelings. So when I say like we feel like we're phasing through the ground, like the people who've been through DPDR
They know,
understand
they
what
get
this,
it.
what this feels
No,
like
they get
for
it.
sure.
They get it. And some physical symptoms, obviously the visual distortions, the blurriness, the tunnel vision, the just the distortion, the zooming in feeling, the 2D feeling.
Yeah.
And then I would get auditory distortions as well. I almost feel like I was like underwater hearing things.
Dude, totally.
Yeah.
I had the ear thing. That's actually I went through so many different phases. Like I had it for 4 years. So
Right.
there were so many different phases that I went through where like specifically I literally thought like my ears, I got my ears checked so many times.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember having to like pop my ears, sitting there trying to be able to hear things. And all the time, like I'd pop my ears all day thinking that my ears were clogged. That's actually so true when you said like underwater.
Yeah, that's what it would feel
yeah.
like. Like I would hear things. I remember so many times I would have to pretend like I didn't hear or see something.
Yeah.
I felt like I was going crazy because there were so many times where I was like, because I thought I was going crazy and I had schizophrenia, confirmation bias kicked in. So when I would see anything like here, for example, outside of my peripheral, and it would be like anything, I'd be like, fuck, I'm going crazy, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Then I'd be like, no, I gotta get my mind off of it. Then I have to pretend like I didn't see something, or I would hear something, or like anything. And because I was so hyper aware, it would just be like, I have to pretend like I didn't hear that. There was moments where I had to pretend like wasn't crazy.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Terrible.
What else? We got the physical numbness, the
Memory.
head pressure.
Memory
Yeah, we can get
issues.
into the cognitive symptoms in a sec.
Okay,
But the head pressure is so common. The head pressure,
head
just
pressure. Yeah.
or like headaches, like tension headaches. A lot of people describe it like in the front of their head, or kind of just like in like the mohawk of their head.
Yeah. I had a headache that lasted 6 months, back of my head, just like from DPDR. So the headaches, like there's so many different physical tightness symptoms that come with it because again, it's like a symptom of anxiety. So that your body's going to be tense and it can definitely cause headaches and all these things. And I know so many clients who've tried massages multiple times a week, crazy stretching routines, and the solution to those tightness it's not through trying to stretch yourself out. It's actually through alleviating the root cause of the exact symptoms in the first place, for sure.
That's something that, we can get into it right now while we're on the topic. It's like every single thing they're experiencing, every single thing we experience was a symptom of DPDR. There is no specific way to get rid of that specific symptom.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people go wrong, is they think that, oh, okay, since I have a visual distortions, I have to go get glasses or I have to get eye drops. Like, no, that's not how it works,
Not at all.
Since I feel like I'm not connected with my body, let me go do some tapping exercises or let me go ground myself.
I'd say it makes it even worse.
It's not how it works,
Yeah.
And what's another one? Since I feel like, I don't know, there's so many. I don't know.
So many.
There's so many. But that's where I went wrong too. Is like I thought I was having all these symptoms and they were kind of like its own separate thing.
Yeah.
It's like, no, once you overcome the root cause, then you will overcome all the symptoms will literally fade away.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. It's kind of like how I describe it is like if you have the flu that comes with headache, fatigue, you sneezing, coughing, right? Let's go with those 4 symptoms, right? But you're not necessarily, when you have the flu, you have the flu. So you're not necessarily trying to get rid of your headache, And you could take some Tylenol, it'll probably fix it. But you're not necessarily like attacking the symptoms. You're like, okay, I have the flu, so I have to go get flu medicine, But with DPDR, it's the exact same thing. You're getting all of these symptoms. You don't have to attack every single one of them. That would be impossible, right?
Yeah.
You have to attack the flu, attack the DPDR. And once you do that, all the symptoms go away.
Exactly.
Like it never happened, quite literally.
That's exactly it. Yeah. It's kind of
yeah.
like it's counterintuitive when you think you're trying to fix it, you're actually a lot of times making it worse. You trying to fix your hearing is making it worse.
Because you're just giving more attention to it. And I really want to go in depth on how to overcome this. I feel like we have life-changing
super excited for that
life-changing
part.
stuff coming up.
Absolutely.
Dizziness and lightheadedness is something that's extremely common with DPDR and anxiety. Yeah. Like so many of my clients come to me saying they feel dizzy, like they're lightheaded, they feel like they're gonna pass out. It's one of the most common symptoms.
No, yeah.
Super, super common.
Or feeling high.
Or feeling high is another one.
Feeling
drugged.
Yeah,
that's how I felt. I was telling you the other day. I remember a time I was in my room. There's obviously more times more intense than others, but I feel like one time I was in a room, I was almost laughing because of how drugged I felt, like how woozy and drugged and just high
Yeah.
and drunk I felt. It was like, it was next level.
No,
Straight
yeah.
up. Constant tiredness and fatigue. That's one of the most common ones I've seen too. A lot of people just like, they feel so tired all the time. They feel so fatigued. They want to take naps. They want to sleep all day.
Aye, that's
Your
so
nervous system, you guys have to understand, your nervous system's on a high alert. So even though you don't feel anxious 24/7, your nervous system is working. It's taking up energy behind the scenes. So you're going to feel that way. You know, subconsciously, when your brain is and your amygdala is constantly searching and scanning for evidence, for danger, it's going to drain you. You know, I used to feel so tired with it too.
Yeah.
You know, and the problem they do is that they try to do caffeine. They try to take caffeine.
Or 100
now-
million supplements.
Or 100 million supplements, and now
Yeah.
you're fueling the entire cycle over and over again.
Yeah. And a lot of you guys that think resting actually gives you more energy, I'd say it's the complete opposite. You get energy from taking action towards it. Because right now, when you guys are so tired, when people are tired, they think that their brain, like, that they think their brain needs them to, rest or get more sleep and all these things. But your dopamine from your brain isn't even, it's like there's no reward to you doing anything yet. So you have to start somewhere, right? You have to take action towards things in order for it to become fun and in order for it to actually be rewarding. And that's going to give you more energy, just like if you
100%.
did caffeine.
100%.
Naturally.
And I feel like that's not talked about enough too. It's like people think that like you just get energy from like always sleeping or resting, but like you have to understand, like if you're always like 90% of the people that come to me are very lazy. They're very lazy. They're not doing anything. Or maybe they're not inherently lazy. They're just not taking action in their life. They're not prioritizing themselves at all. And they wonder, why is this happening? Why am I feeling these things? It's like, you're doing it to yourself, you know? Like I actually did a study of all my clients. I haven't told you, but I took it's like 112 of my last clients. I made them all fill out a form, okay? And the form, one of the first questions was, what are your bad habits, right? 97% of them, their sleep schedule was messed up. So if you're watching this right now, 97% of you guys, your sleep schedule is messed up. You guys are going to sleep super late, and don't tell me you're not, and you're waking up super late. Or it's just inconsistent and you're not mindful of your sleep at all, okay? At all. That's so common. Number 2 is nutrition. They just don't eat the right foods, and they know it too. Like they'll ask them, and they know it. They know they're not eating the right foods, but they'll still do it, And then the third one was, I believe, the food and water go hand in hand. They're not getting enough water. Number 3 would be no schedule. They have no type of structure in their life at all. So they kind of just wake up and go with the flow. And I was a victim of that. I did the same thing. For so long, I would just kind of wake up and I felt like life was taking me instead of me taking life by the horns, So we're getting into like coach mode. I feel like before we get into full coach mode, we need to do something else. But that's just something.
I'm so excited for full coach mode.
I'm so excited for full coach.
Is there any more symptoms we want to cover just for the people that want to feel heard?
Cognitive symptoms.
Depression.
I think the memory issues we should definitely get into.
Memory issues, guys. Difficulty like recalling recent events, feelings, even your whole entire life. I remember thinking my whole entire life was over. Like I remember thinking my memories were just gone, and that, and there's a reason for this, and I'm sure you understand this too. State-dependent memory. Of
course.
So the reason we feel like our memories are gone is because your memories are based off of your emotional state. So if I'm like super happy, my thoughts are going to be in the state of like times to where I was happy, and it almost feels like they last forever. So the reason that you experience memory problems and it feels like it's been forever is because that is your state. Your state is in a state of panic, fear. Even if you don't think you're experiencing anxiety, but just DPDR, they're all related. So when you're thinking thoughts, you're only remembering times of that you were in the state. So sometimes it's impossible to feel like, you could be recovered, right?
100%. It's actually the biggest phenomenon, I think, is just state-dependent memory, because when you're stuck in DPDR, that's why it makes you feel like this is going to last forever, because there's no hope. You don't feel hope that it's going to get any better because you're stuck in that state-dependent memory bubble, right? But I'll give you guys an example of like sometimes, or like an example of how they've actually experienced this. A lot of people have gone through a bad breakup, right? When you go through a bad breakup, the weeks that follow, the days that follow, I mean, if you're going through a really bad breakup, you'll hear people say like I don't know how I'm gonna live. Like I can't live without them. Like they were my life. They were everything. You know, I can't do it. I'm done. It's over, right? And if you constantly fuel that, it'll get worse, right? But what happens? People just go and live their lives again, right? And because their brain is interpreting new information, their brain essentially gets rewired, right? But with DPDR, since it's a 24/7 type of overwhelming, intense thing, they refuel the cycle until it never goes away, right? So let me give you guys an example. If you remember the last breakup you had, if you had that breakup and every single second of every day you were on their Instagram, seeing what they're up to, you're on photos, seeing your past memories, you're on Snapchat, seeing your past memories, you're texting them, you're doing everything, entertaining them, I promise you that breakup is going to feel like an eternity. You might never overcome it because you're constantly entertaining it. But if you let go of doing that and you live your life to the fullest, your brain has no choice but to replace all that information. And inevitably, you are going to get over them. And that's why, you know, we've all gotten over our exes, right? Yeah. Unless some people haven't because they entertain it, quite literally.
Yeah, just like people haven't overcame derealization. But
the same idea.
Also mention, like, when you're fully recovered, it's the same thing. It's hard for you to remember times to where you had DPDR. You don't even remember what it feels like. It's like you have times where it's like we know what it's hard to understand the feeling to the depth. Like we know what it feels like, but you don't feel the despair that's attached to it. Because just like when you were in a breakup, when you overcome the breakup, you no longer feel the emotions of like being so heartbroken.
Yeah, and another example for that, like something I wish someone would have told me, because I thought like I would listen to stuff like this and I would probably be like, yeah, but like they don't get it. Like this is so bad. I'm never gonna forget about this. Well, you said the same thing when you broke up with that girl or guy 5 years ago, you know?
Yeah.
Like we all remember our first breakup or like our middle school crush. Do you still feel the same way you did for that person? No. You can go back on your messages or go right now, look back at your old memories with your old messages with your ex.
Yeah.
When you said, I love you so much, you're my world, I'll never let you go, XYZ. And now you kind of look back on that, you're like, wait, like, what was I even thinking, right? Yeah. Everyone says like, what was I even thinking? Like, ew, you know, like, ew, that's not me, right? But when you were in that moment, it was so real to you. You actually loved them. You actually would take a bullet for them. And now you wouldn't take a bullet for them. Why not? You could have sworn you were going to take a bullet for them, and now you're not going to take a bullet for them. Exactly. The same way right now, you could swear that it's going to last forever and that this is permanent and you're never going to overcome this, but then you're going to be like us, you know, completely recovered, like barely remembering what that was even like.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's insane. It's the memory issues, I'm telling you, like your life, you didn't forget your life. It's still there. It's just, it's hidden behind DPDR.
Yeah, I feel like the last thing I want to bring up is just the identity issues, like feeling like you don't know who you are, like you don't know what you stand for,
right.
You don't know what you like anymore, you don't know who you are as a person. Like sometimes it gets so bad, like you even question your sexuality, like things like that, because you're going through an identity crisis essentially. And I went through that. I know how terrible it is to go through like identity problems, feeling like you're not who you were before, you know? You just don't feel like a person in general.
Scary, bro.
It's the worst.
Terrifying.
But yeah, that's about that. And I'm gonna reiterate what I said earlier. Is just like we just went over 50 symptoms, but there's 50,000 more, right, that are unexplainable. Yeah. And I promise you, I've had it. Nick has experienced it. One of our clients, if not all of them, have gone through the same exact problem, and now they're recovered. So that's the good news. That's the good news. Now let's transition. What should we transition to? Let's see it. Have some stuff written down.
Dude,
I think we should touch up on our own stories. Let's finish up our own stories.
Yeah, we can go way deeper.
And then we'll go super deep, right?
Of course.
So I'll start off with myself. Like I said, I had that one horrific panic attack that triggered everything. And after that, I went months stuck in this state of all the symptoms we just talked about. The turning point for me, I actually had two turning points, okay? My first turning point was the last panic attack I ever had, which was June 3rd, 2024. The last panic attack I ever had put me in the darkest point of my whole life. And after that panic attack, I was so close to giving up. You know, I mean, one thing we can talk about is the suicidal and the depression side of things.
Yeah.
Real quick, we can touch upon that because I've been through that. And I say it in every caption, DPDR almost took my life. And it did. Because I got so suicidal and the existential thoughts got so horrible that there was no point to live anymore. There was no point. And I remember even thinking like how I was going to do it, how my family was going to think, just like everything replaying in my head, like news, even like everything. And it was just, at that time I was entertaining it because of, it just felt like there was no way out and there was no one talking about it. There was no one that could help me. I had no coach, no therapist, no nothing.
Because the thought of living it for the rest of your life, like, it's so much worse. Yeah.
It was so much worse. The pain of staying in that state was so much worse. But that night when I was sitting in my car and I was having that panic attack and it was like the aftermath of it, I was just staring at myself in the rearview mirror, and like I still remember the look on my face. I was dead. Like I was literally dead. I was like a dead fish. I was like this, and I was looking at myself like this. I was dead, and I was so close to ending it. I was so close to just doing it that night. And I think the only thing that got me back in my house was like the slight delusion that I had. I was like, what if I can pull this off? Like, what if I can overcome this somehow and I can tell this story? And this could be my moment, you know? But it seemed so far-fetched. But I was like, fuck, I can't give up. And it just like, it almost felt like my life was flashing before my eyes. Like all my memories when I was a kid, all the things I wanted to do, all my goals, my ambitions, everything I wanted was like right there. And it was like something in me said to just keep going and to find a way. So I just gathered myself and I went back into my house. And I also promised myself that day, I was so pissed off. I promised myself that day that it was going to be the last panic attack I ever had. I promised myself I'm never going to have a panic attack ever again. No matter what, I'm going to make sure it never happens. Until that day, it's never happened.
Yeah.
So I'm really proud of that. And then my other turning point was, that was June 3rd, 2024. I told myself I went all in, but I knew deep down I wasn't going all in. I didn't have a plan yet. I told myself, I felt good about myself after that day. I was like, I'm never going to have that again. I'm going to make it out. I felt that dopamine for a little bit. And then it wasn't until I told my father I was working for him. I told him I want to, take a break from work. And I want to really focus on my recovery. Opening up about what I was experiencing to my dad was one of the hardest things ever. Like it took 6 months of me like even contemplating it to do it. And when I did, that day was the game changer. So now we're going to go fast forward to June 8th, 2024, when I was telling my dad what I went through. I told him, like, hey, I want to talk to you about something. We went outside into our backyard. We sat down. I remember feeling so out of it. I was in a cloud. And I was talking to him, and I was trying my best. But I just told him what I was going through and the DPDR and the suicidal thoughts. And my dad is always like a straightforward guy. He doesn't believe in mental health. Like always straightforward, college, business, in his own world. And that's why it was so hard to open up about this, because I knew he wasn't going to understand it. But I needed to tell him, because if not, I couldn't recover. That's what I thought, When I told him about the suicidal thoughts, like we were good until going back and forth for like 10 minutes. Like 10 minutes, finally I felt like my dad was listening to me for like the first time ever, quite literally. And it just took a turn for the worst. It's like, I don't remember at what point of the conversation it got to it, but he thought I was making it up because I didn't want to go to work. So he thought I was making some stuff up because I was just lazy. He's like, no, this is ridiculous. Like I remember him saying like, you're so lazy. Like, how could you make this up just to not go to work?
Yeah.
And then I was explaining to him like, no, I promise you. I was crying. Like, that's not what's going on right now. And he just couldn't budge. Budge. And then it turned into like a physical argument, a verbal argument. And I'd never felt more misunderstood in my life. Like if there was one moment in my life I needed him to hear me out and to like listen to me, it just didn't work. And that brought me into another spiral, another almost panic attack. And then my mom came into my room, kind of told me the same thing. where she was like, "Hey, I heard what you said to your father, and you have to go to work. There's no way around it." And in my head, I'm going through the worst existential DPDR crisis ever.
Yeah.
Hearing like the fact of work and a job, I was like, "Do you not understand that I'm about to kill myself? Like,
Wow.
this is like, what is a job? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm dying, And just the anger I had and rage I had in my heart towards them, I just blamed it on them. I was so angry. I was like, how the hell could they do this to me? Like, I asked for one thing and they can't even do that. And it hurt me so much. Like that day, I was literally contemplating like killing them because I was in that mindset
Wow.
where it didn't matter. Nothing mattered. Nothing was real, and I was so angry. I was like, I'm either gonna go into a psych ward tonight, I'm gonna kill them, or I'm going to kill myself, or I'm gonna find a way to make it out. But I promise you, that day was a turning point for me because the rage I felt, I felt genuine like rage. Like I could burn down a building type of rage. Like I was like the Hulk rage. It was horrible. But long story short, I gathered myself for like 30 minutes. I was contemplating living the rest of my life like this. Like I remember it vividly. I remember being in that victim mindset so vividly. Like I remember just being like, yeah, I mean, I could just claim I'm mentally ill. I can go to the psych ward and I can live off my parents for the rest of my life. And I don't have to do anything. I don't have to work.
Yeah.
And it was a terrible thought. But in the moment, I was kind of happy. It was like relieving that I didn't have to live with like this burden of making something out of myself or living anymore. But then 30 minutes later, I felt so disgusted with that idea. Like knowing that I wasn't going all in and I was being so mediocre in my life. And it just bothered me so much to the point where it's like, fuck that. I can't let that happen. Like I have so much to live for. And even if I don't feel it, I know I can do this somehow. I just know I can. I have to find a way to do this, And ever since that day, I just made a decision that I was never going to struggle with this anymore. Like this wasn't going to ruin my life anymore. And the rest is history. I woke up the next day, that same night, I made an action plan on my phone, exactly what I was going to do every single day. Stuck to it. The next day, woke up 5:45 a.m., got to work straight up. And then the weeks that followed were tough to say the least, right? But that's like basically my turning point. We'll talk about our journey. I want you to talk about your turning point though.
Yeah. So for me, I was in the state where I had it for years, right? I had it for 4 years. It was every single day. It was 24/7 all day, every single day. And for me, I felt literally like to a T, like what you described when it was like, you did not want to live anymore. Like you had thoughts of literally like wanting to kill yourself, just not wanting to live anymore. And for me, the pain of like going through life was so bad. And it was so much worse than me, just figuring it out, right? So it got so bad to where...
Right, like the pain of staying the same was worse than the pain of change.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where the magic happens. Like I believe you have to get to the point of life or death. I do, because I've seen it happen. If you truly want to recover as fast as I did, 5 weeks, fast as my clients do, you have to get to that point. It's a non-negotiable. It's either life or it's death.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you got to that point as well. Every single person, all my clients that have made incredible transformations in their lives, life or death before joining.
The life or death mindset.
Simple.
So, yeah. So another thing too is like while I was experiencing it, people have I didn't tell anyone really. I mean, my mom knew about it, and my dad knew about it. But like after a while, I kind of just gave up because I thought it was like the visual symptoms. We first thought HPPD, visual snow syndrome, all of these things. We just kind of gave up looking for it. And for so long, like every single day, it was all I was thinking about. It was all I wanted to do was think about another thought. But I got to a point to where, it was the life or death. Like I did not want to go another day. And that's where I literally, it was a prayer. I made a promise with God and I was like, never, ever, if you could give me one more day to where I could feel emotions, I can be able to live life, live in the present, not live in the future or in the past, just always regretting things. If I could move on from this and actually go out and live a life, I'll never take a day for granted. I would actually do something with my life. So at that point, I quit all of my vices. So during this time, I was still doing weed. I was kind of abusing my ADHD medication, porn, nicotine. Like I was just trying to escape the way I felt, right? So many different things I was doing just to try to escape how I felt internally. And in that moment, it was all. I dropped everything at once.
Dropped it.
Um,
And before you continue, I want to bring something up because I just got this like big emotion wave of feelings. Like, Nick, we did it, bro. Like
Yeah.
we did it. Like I almost about to cry,
crazy.
bro. Like, jeez, I feel so grateful because
crazy.
like going back into that state of that day where I was just talking about, like I genuinely believed like it was over for me, and I
Yeah.
genuinely believed like I was gonna have to kill myself. And now I am here like a year and a half later. I've helped so many people overcome it. You've helped so many people too. You overcame it yourself.
Yeah.
And like, bro, we made it happen.
Oh, bro.
I'm really proud of you, man. I'm really proud of myself too.
You
Like
too.
that day, like life or death, like life on the line, like
Yeah.
the game on the line, life on the line. We made it happen, and we didn't make
Absolutely.
excuses, and we found a way. And now we're just inspiring so many, and I think that's so
So
great.
cool.
But yeah, continue, man.
Yeah, of course. So at that moment, I was like, I made the decision that, it was life or death. I chose life, right? I chose to dedicate my life towards finding a solution for myself. And also so I could help other people as well. Because I always knew, if I could recover, I not only wouldn't take another day for granted, but like I would low key live my life, look for other people, and actually do something with it. So at that point, it was, for me, I've always been having like an obsession personality or all-in mentality, like ADHD, hyperfocus, you can say. I have ADHD, but I don't even believe in like an identity of ADHD because I truly believe like, if I don't want to have ADHD, I can mentally just not have ADHD, just with my own mind. Like,
Identity.
yeah, it's my identity. So, but you could say like I have ADHD hyperfocus, and that's why I'm so obsessed when I do things. Everything I've ever done has been all in. So when I was when I would smoke weed, it was like that was my whole YouTube feed, my Instagram, like sports, that was everything.
Right.
I told you I did like a yo-yo competition.
Yo.
Like everything.
You're just all in.
Flips,
But
sports,
you have,
football,
but that's a good
everything.
thing in a way because like you have to go all in. You can't half-ass recovery in the slightest. Like I promise you, you can't even 99% it. I even say in my program, you can't 100% it. You have to be 110% in. Because
Yeah.
if you're not 110% in, you're wasting your time, you're wasting my time,
Absolutely.
and you're wasting everyone's time. You have to be willing to be so committed. That is the only thing. Like you're a 100% priority.
Yeah.
And that's when you
100%.
win, you know?
Yeah.
Continue.
But yeah, so that's where I became obsessed with good things finally. It was finally like all the negative shit that's ever happened to me got fueled into positive input, good things, like things that would actually make me good as a person and feel like I am actually achieving something with my life. So
100%.
what happened was I dropped all these vices and I became literally obsessed with self-improvement because the more you level up your life, the more you go to the gym, the more results you start to get, the better you start to feel, the more you actually start to love the process, right? So I became so infatuated with waking up early and just crushing the day. And I remember joining like a fitness program. It's like a fitness group. We would all
Right.
wake up at like 4:30 a.m. It's not that like you have to do these things, but for me,
It
that
just
was aligned
aligned.
with my higher self.
Boom.
That was alignment for me. So for me, that's what made me the best version of me. And that was my new addiction. It was every single day.
Boom. That was your new obsession.
I wanted to become so confident in who I am that my cup was just overflowing for other people. I could help others.
I love
was it.
that.
Yeah.
I love that. That's powerful, man. And I want to touch on like the all in. You have to be 110%.
You have to
in.
be.
You have to be like I'm
You have
telling
to
you,
be.
like in order to work with me, we pre-qualify everyone that reaches out. Like they have to be all in.
There can't be hesitance at all. You have to be so done.
Before you even hop on a consultation call, we have to know that you are committed to recovery. Because
course.
truly, like at the point that I'm at, like I only want to work with the most committed people. That's it. Because if you're the most committed person, I promise you, will change your life 100%. And
Yeah.
we have, and that's what I love. I've loved to work with people who are at the point I was at, all in, life or death, making it happen no matter what, no excuses, none of that, and just going all in. And that's the point you have to get to. Like you have to be, when it comes to like my own recovery, I was so tired of my own shit. Like I was so tired of not giving 110% of my life. I was so tired of knowing I had more to give, but I wasn't giving it. Like it hurt. It almost disgusted me. So like you have to feel disgusted with the past version of you and be like, I never want to be that guy again. Like I don't want, why am I, like if you have one shot at life,
Yeah.
if you have one shot, why are you living below your potential?
It's your one
Why
life.
are you so lazy? That's why I would tell myself, like, why am I so lazy? Why don't I just do the things, you know? And yeah, it's easy to say, like, I don't know what to do. That's so easy to say. Everyone says that, right?
Yeah.
Do what I did, you know, do what I did. Start off with the basics. Go on your notes app and put 5 to 10 things that you have to do every single day. And it's all aligned to you. It's all personalized. I can't tell you what to do.
Of course.
You know, like, but some basics, like we brought up, fix your sleep schedule. Make sure it's on point every single day, right?
Bare minimum.
Literally, I promise. But the problem is that I went through the same thing too. I was like, yeah, but this isn't going to help. This isn't going to actually work. And it is, though, because right now your nervous system is so dysregulated that anything works. If you just put intention and you apply structure and you apply consistency and taking care of yourself, anything works, you know?
Yeah.
So like taking care of your sleep schedule, taking care of your food and your water, and having a schedule for yourself every night. That's the fastest way to regulate your nervous system. And that's what these nervous system regulation, you know, these TikToker, Instagram people, like they're so BS.
Yeah.
It's so
Bullshit.
BS.
It's bullshit,
It's so
guys.
BS.
Guys.
The best way to regulate your nervous system is giving it safety and giving it structure. If you don't know,
proof.
if your nervous system doesn't know what to expect tomorrow and doesn't have predictability or structure or anything, it's over. Like it doesn't matter how many times you tap your face or do butterfly hugs. It doesn't matter. You know, you need predictability, you need structure, you need organization in your life. If not, your nervous system's always going to be on alert. You know, and that's something I wish I knew. But it makes sense though. Like think about it. Okay, you're going to sleep tonight. You're going to wake up. Okay, you get out of bed. What do I have to do today? You scroll on your phone for an hour or two, and then you're like, okay, I think I have work at 12. And then you get up. You have no morning routine. You eat like shit. You have to go to work. Okay. Then after work, what do I do? Sit on my sofa for a couple hours and do X, Y, Z. You have no structure. You're letting life take you. If there's one thing I want you to take from this, what I'm saying right now is don't let life take you. You take life by the horns and do exactly what you want to do. No?
That's it.
And that's something that, again, I say with so much passion because I like struggled with it because like I just thought one day recovery was just going to fall into my lap. And that was the biggest mistake I made. Let's start with that, Nick. What are some of the biggest mistakes you made or that you've seen in your clients that they make before they join?
Yeah. Biggest mistakes, first of all, number one is looking for solutions, looking for the one magic solution, pill, fix, this one thing that's going to be the hidden cure, the overnight transformation. And as I said earlier, there's no such thing as a perfect plan. You have an imperfect plan and you perfect it through taking action. So it's delaying it, it's waiting for a perfect time, and it's trying to find like the one moment, the one day to where you're gonna make the change, right? So looking for solutions is never the way. Another thing that's really,
like obsessively looking for solutions and looking for the next thing, right? Yeah. Whether it's the nervous system, whether it's I don't know what else is out there, just a bunch of BS.
Yeah.
Like one thing I'd say, let's just go back and forth. The number one thing I would say, because this literally would have saved my life, is stop waiting. Stop waiting it out. Yeah. Stop thinking that one day recovery is just going to fall on a silver platter and it's just going to click and it's just going to fade away. Yeah. I got news. It's not going to fade away. It's not going to fade away. If you have a severe DPDR, like real DPDR, to the point where you're watching this video an hour and 15 minutes in, I promise you it's not going to just fade away. If it did, it would have faded away a week, a month, a year ago, you know? And who knows how long they've had it for. There's people that have had it for 20 years. Clients of mine's had it for 10. It's not going to fade away. Nothing changes if nothing changes.
Yes.
That's it. If you're going to do the same thing every day and you still don't know what to do and you don't have an action plan and you still don't even know what DPDR is and you're still doing the same habits, it's not going to go away. So stop praying that it's going to go away and start taking action. That's number one.
Yeah. And I'd say this is huge, knowing what you want out of life and having direction on the person you want to become. If you don't know what you want out of life, if you don't know any of the things that the best version of you does, if you don't know how you want to live, where you want to live, the girl or guy you want to attract in life, even how much you're going to weigh. If you don't know the details of like really what you want out of life, things won't happen for you. They'll happen to you. So the perspective and shift that changed my life forever is when I started to look at things and I was like, these things aren't happening to me, but they're happening for me to actually build me into the person that I was really meant to become. And if you guys don't know the person you're meant to become, all these things will kind of just happen and nothing will get out of it. But what I did was I really visualized the person I am today and the person I'm becoming. In doing that, God started to give me things that were negative, but they were character building me. They were building me into the person who could do those things. So what I could say to you guys is like, literally sit here, take, after this call or pause the video, sit here and write down everything you want out of life. Like, how do you want to live? Where do you want to live? I know exactly where I want to be 5 years, 10 years. You don't even know you don't even have to know like where you're going to be when you're, 100 years old, right? But like, just what do you want coming up out of life? Because derealization will actually create you into the person who can do those things. For sure.
And I will go hand in hand with what you said. It goes hand in hand with having an action plan, right?
Yes.
Before the action plan, you need to have a vision and understanding of where you're headed, right? So like I have some of my clients, all my clients do something called understanding your higher self and understanding the best version of you. And it's like a whole form. But long story short, like if you have no idea where to start, number one thing you should do is just close your eyes for 30 seconds or a minute, 30 to 60 seconds, and just visualize what the best version of yourself looks like everything about them, Deep down, and here's another thing, really important thing that I tell my clients too, is that deep down, you guys know what the best version of yourself looks like.
Everyone does.
I feel like almost everyone does. Almost everyone knows what they should be doing to some extent, right? Like most people say, like, yeah, I should be eating better. I should be going to work on time. I shouldn't be lazy. I should be going to the gym. I should be doing this. Why aren't you doing it? So start with those things, right? But anyways, visualize, what does the best version of yourself look like, right? What clothes do they wear? What morning routine do they have? What job do they have? How do they carry themselves? How do they speak? How do they, what are their habits? Most importantly, because that's things you can't control right now. What things are they doing every single day, right?
Yeah.
And then you go do those things. It's really that simple to start. It doesn't get more simple than that, right? So I'll read you guys, for example, just so you can be a little bit more clear on this, because Nick is right. Without knowing a direction, you really are lost.
Absolutely.
The first step, and this is some secret reality reconnect advice right here. Step 1 is identifying your past self. So the first thing I want you to do is take out a piece of paper and be brutally honest with yourself and ask yourself these questions. What bad habits do I know aren't the best for me? You write those down, all of them, all your bad habits, okay? What are you afraid of letting go even though you know you should? You write all of that down, okay? And what labels or stories about myself am I ready to drop? For example, I'm anxious, this is who I am, I'm broken, I can't recover, I'm the special case, all that, right? And write down all of them one by one. And I put examples, right? Poor sleep schedule, procrastination, lack of structure, lack of exercise, negative self-talk, laziness, people-pleasing, making excuses, all of it, right? Once you're done with that list, crumble it up into a ball and throw it across the room, because that is no longer you, okay? And now you have to step into the new version of you, and one of my favorite quotes I drop is that, this is a quote by Alan Watts, is you have no obligation to be the same person you were 5 minutes ago, right? Everyone holds on to this ego and this identity of themselves, like I'm lazy, or I'm late, or I procrastinate, or that's just who I am, That's not just who you are. You can rewire your brain like this, Yeah. No one said you have to be the same person you were after you threw that piece of paper. You can choose whether your behavior is going to align with that person or it's going to align with a new person. And that's kind of how you rewire your brain. We can get more into that. But anyways, you have no obligation to be that person. You are now free to be exactly who you want to be. It's not like one day I'm going to be I remember thinking to myself, like, one day I'm going to be so disciplined. One day I'm going to take care of my health. One day I'm going to start exercising, going to the gym. One day I'm going to get that job. But it's like that happens today, and people don't realize that change is available right now, And then from there is where you go into step 4, which is literally visualizing exactly what the best version of you looks like. And ask yourself, what habits do they do? And then write it on your phone. And then have a list of 5 to 10 things that they do every single day. Get those things done every single day. That's your action plan. Beautiful.
Another thing is, what do you desire? If you know what, a great way to hear what the best version of yourself looks like is if you like literally sit here and just think about the things you want out of life, that isn't there for a reason. If you can conceive and believe that something's possible, you can't even imagine a color that doesn't exist. So just you imagining something and just you being able to visualize and comprehend you doing something is living proof within itself that version of you already exists. And when I was struggling, I read so many books about the mind and how it works and really how the whole life works, and every single possible version of yourself is already out there.
Yeah.
But it's for you to claim that to life. So when it's not about actually becoming the person, it's being in alignment with becoming that person. And you'll know when you're in alignment because life, you just know. You wake up before the alarm, you're wired in the day, you're excited for the day. You, instead of like wanting to sleep all day, you're going to bed at night like literally dreading to wake up the next day and do it again.
Yeah. That's a deep topic. That's gonna go over their heads, unfortunately, for most of them. That's why I kept it simple, but it's so true. Exactly what you said is so true. And I want to finish up what I was saying earlier, just to finish up the identity, like who you have to be. Just go through my higher self worksheet. You have to identify their core values, similar to what you said. What do you desire out of life? But one question I added here is, what quality do you admire most in other people, right? And then from there, if someone followed you for a week, what would they say you value the most right now? And what would you want them to say instead? And then what are the core values of yourself, whether it's discipline, whether it's growth, whether it's compassion, kindness, whatever it is. And then how can you live by those values today? What's one thing you can do? If it's discipline, wake up early and follow my plan no matter how I feel. If it's gratitude, write 3 things you're grateful for every day, right? Little things create monumental changes over time. People think, I used to be a victim of this, like, yeah, I can do those things, I'm still not going to recover. You don't understand how the brain works, Let's get it. I'm getting into full coach mode right now, how the brain works, okay? So the brain has 2 primary functions. Number 1 is receiving information. It's a receiver of all the information in your life. Ever since you were a little kid, it's been receiving everything around you. And then it does number 2, it interprets, processes information, and then it spits out an image of whatever it is, So I know this is a cup because I've learned that that's a cup, If I was born today, I don't know what the hell that is, but my brain has learned through experience, through input, that there's an output, right? So that leads me to my next point. Your brain is input and output based. It's like a computer. If you go on Google and you search up how to bake a cake, you have to put in the H, the O, the W, the space, the T, the O, right? And then you're going to get the output, right? But you can control what you type into the computer the same way you can control what you can control in your life, right? So here's a recipe to be a loser for the rest of your life. Recipe to be a loser is wake up late, eat like shit, maybe have a job, maybe not, live with your parents the rest of your life, and have horrible habits, right? If you do those things, by definition, you're a loser, right? Because you put in those inputs and you got the output, right? And if you want to be the best version of yourself, you'll put in the right inputs, the ones you just created, and you will get the output. And that's something about neuroplasticity that a lot of people don't understand. This isn't just like, I'm going to recover one day. This is like you're guaranteeing your recovery, because when you understand your brain, you understand neuroplasticity, it's impossible. It's inevitable. It's impossible for your brain not to rewire itself, right? It's like saying, if I search up on the computer, if I search up how to bake a cake, it's not going to tell me how to drink water, right? It's going to tell me how to bake a cake. It doesn't know anything else. Your brain is very, how do I put this into words? It's like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, it's guaranteed to happen. If you know the game, play the rules by the game, you will win. If you know the cheat codes, this is a cheat code right here, because 99% of people don't understand. If you can control the controllables in your life and control the inputs you put into your brain, you're going to get your desired outputs. There's no other way around it, right? So That's my little rant right there, right? For people going through it right now, guys, I understand it feels like recovery is impossible. Trust me, I get that. But when you understand that if you hack into your brain's neuroplasticity, there is 0% chance you don't recover because you know the game. Once you know the game, that's it. You're the game master. And now you're in control of your own life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. People are like, how can you guarantee a DPDR recovery? It's because, I think the only way to guarantee that you don't recover is to not even take action towards it. So a lot of people are like, you're literally it's 100% guaranteed when you have the right process and you understand what goes behind your brain and your actions are actually towards that person.
It's impossible.
Yeah,
Your
it's
brain learns through
impossible.
behavior at the end of the day. Your brain learns through experiences
Exactly.
and your behavior. And if you can
Proof.
control your experiences and your behavior, the way you behave,
Yeah.
you can rewire your brain every
course.
single time. Your
course.
brain learns through all the stimulus, all the inputs. It's impossible. Like there's no other words to describe it. Like I wish I knew this, that it was impossible not to recover if I did the right things. Impossible.
Yeah.
No? But yeah, I love the brain. I mean, I can get so deep into it. It's just like, it's just not going to make sense to 99% of them. So like, why even do it right now? Let's get into something else.
Confirmation bias.
Confirmation bias is big. Okay, start it off.
Yeah. When it comes to your identity, you need to know like to a T what that version looks like. So when that person's established and when you're actively visualizing who that is or you're taking steps towards that, if you say you're something, your brain's going to look for proof that you are that thing. But a lot of times, the problem with people, the problem that I had, was you're labeling yourself as someone who has DPDR. You can't have DPDR. You can be in DPDR.
You can only experience DPDR.
You can experience
That's
DPDR.
what I tell them. That's what I tell all my clients. Like, you don't have DPDR. You're just experiencing this temporary condition.
Yeah.
And that's why I like to call it condition, because a condition is conditional. That means there's conditions in place that got you into this state, which means if you change the conditions, if you change the habits, the outputs, the inputs, then you're going to change your condition. You're going to change your state of being.
Dude, absolutely.
Yeah.
And here's where confirmation bias comes in, is your brain will it'll look for every single possible reason to why you have that thing. So you could say right now that I have DPDR. Your brain's going to look for every single excuse and reason why you have DPDR and why you can't recover and why you're the exception, why no one can help you, no matter what. Every single person has these exact thoughts. Also,
all of them.
Yeah,
Like there
everyone.
hasn't been an original thought, I promise you.
There hasn't.
Because I mean, I've had 129 clients now. I have hundreds, thousands of people text me every day. And anything you tell me, I've seen it so many times that
Exactly.
it's just funny. Like even down to like, there's so many people that still reach out to me like, oh, like, yeah, my case is a little bit different. Like they'll tell me like their story and they're like, yeah, my case is a little bit different because this happened. And I'm just like, I mean, you're just like my other client. You're like, it's not different. Trust me.
Yeah.
And it's hard for them to come to terms with it's not different. And it's
He's
this
just
whole
like
thing.
they're just like us.
They were just like
Just
us.
like
So
us.
I don't blame any of you guys, you know?
Yeah. But the good news is, if you believe, and not if you believe, but if your identity is someone who's already recovered, the 100% recovered role, I am 100% recovered, your brain's going to start to completely flip that. Every single reason for why you're fully recovered.
100%.
I will find every single excuse to why I am the person I want to become.
Yeah.
That's just it.
Yeah. Confirmation bias is beautiful. Confirmation bias is like exactly what you just said. Your brain looks for evidence to support whatever belief you have. So if your belief is, this happened to me, if your belief is I have schizophrenia, I'm going crazy, then when you're just in a setting like this and like maybe you see like a light or you see something here, your brain's going to be like, got it. That means I'm crazy. And it's always scanning for evidence to support whatever you believe, right? And there was one video that got me to understand confirmation bias. So I'll just do it right now. Honestly, it'll take a couple minutes. But just look around the room, whatever you're in right now. Just look around the room, right? Okay. Now look for green. Okay. So I'm looking, see some green. Okay, cool. Got it. Okay, cool. Now, the ideology behind this is that there were things in the room that you just looked around and they might have been kind of green, but because you were looking for green, you just labeled it as green. For example, there's like a vase back there that's like barely green, but because I was looking for green, I kind of labeled that as green, you know, whether it's like blue, if you're looking out in the room, whatever you're looking for, you're going to get that, right?
Yeah.
So there was like Tony Robbins did this exercise himself. I'm sure he did it in a different way, but it's very similar. Like right now, if you look for red, okay, cool. Like there's that, cool. But like that's kind of red. So I'll label that as red. You know, so whatever you look for is where you're gonna get. And he has a very famous quote that I quote all the time: "Is you don't experience life, you experience the life you focused on." If you're always focused on, I'm broken, I'm going crazy, you're always going to get that input. They're always going to get that output, right? But if you all of a sudden flip the script and you start telling yourself, I am 100% recovered, anything I feel is just a lingering symptom and it's not worth my attention,
Boom.
you just change your whole identity. And that's why, like, that right there single-handedly can change so many lives. Like telling yourself, from this day on, I claim I am 100% recovered. Anything I experience, anything I feel from this day on is simply just a lingering symptom. It's not worth my attention.
Yeah.
Okay? That right there shifts everything for people because you start to realize you don't have DPDR, right? That's not you. You're just experiencing it. But you're 100% recovered now. Anything you experience is just a lingering symptom.
Yeah.
Okay?
Make today the day.
Huh?
Make today the day.
Make today the day.
Right now.
Right now. You're recovered. That's it. And that's what I do with all my clients. Day one, this is so powerful, guys. If you understand this concept, the first thing when you open up my course is congrats, you are 100% recovered. Because that's all it is. Subconscious reprogramming through confirmation bias.
Instantly.
And it's a pretty deep topic if you're stuck in DPDR, but it's good to bring it up anyways. But one thing I do want to bring up, because I feel like where so many people go wrong, and it's no one's fault except the traditional system, is therapy. I think that therapy has single-handedly ruined so many lives of people that have experienced DPDR. This is just DPDR, by the way. Like, how many people come to you, Nick, that are just like, they've been through therapy already, they've tried it, and it doesn't work?
Over 90%. Like, if you give me 100 people, over 90 of those people have tried therapy, probably tried 5 different therapists, and every single one tells you didn't fix it. And I'd even be the one to say therapy can make it so much worse. I tried therapy, several times. I tried a bunch of different things, and talking about it, guess what happens when you talk about it? When you go to sit down with a therapist, sure, like talking about your life experience.
How do you feel?
Like when you say to a therapist,
how are you feeling? And then you just go ramble on and on about how
it's
you're
the same
feeling.
conversation every time. Confirmation bias works every single time. It's going to say, you have this thing. The therapist is going to tell you that you have, if they even know what depersonalization is, because
that's another thing.
Don't. Yeah, that's
it's
how
just
you
so
have it.
common. It's so common. Over 90% of my clients, the same exact thing.
Yeah.
And the worst part is a lot of them have been stuck in it for many years, and they go bouncing around therapists and therapists. Yeah, the first guy said he didn't even know what DPDR was. I've heard that so many times when my clients tell me they didn't even know what DPDR was. And if they did know what it was, they're just like, oh yeah, it's just anxiety. And they just label it as anxiety. And it's just, and then we can go to doctors too. Doctors, obviously a lot of people have gone through therapists, doctors, and they're still stuck, right? The truth is they are just not qualified because they don't know about DPDR.
They've
only, if on the off chance that they've heard about it, on the off chance that they studied it, which is so rare, they're learning from a book. You can't explain DPDR in words. So how are you going to explain to someone else, if you've never been through it, how to overcome this? You can't. And one of the worst things about therapy, in my opinion, is that there's no action plan. Yeah, you can talk about it for an hour, right? Or you can do EMDR, or you can do any other type of therapy, but there's no action plan after the session, right? That's why I don't do any sessions. I don't believe in sessions. That's not how I function.
All the actions are towards trying to recover, and that's something I don't even think we mentioned. You can't try to recover. So when a therapist tells you to do something, 99% of the time, it's a grounding technique. It's something that's very, very, I need to recover focused. That is not what we preach at all. It's chasing your higher self and doing actions. Why? Because you want to become your best self, not so you can overcome this thing. Because overcoming this thing is telling you that you have this thing. Therefore, confirmation bias is going to make you continue to believe that you have this thing.
That's a really deep topic that they're probably not in the right mindset to hear. I think we can finish off with that. But let's go back to like just the therapy and the doctors, right?
Of course.
It's just, it hurts me. It hurts me that like so many millions of people at this point have gone to therapists, have gone to their most trusted doctor, right? Doctors or whatever. Like in our heads are like this doctor, you know?
Yeah.
But they don't know DPDR. Like, how can you expect a doctor to help you with something so specific?
Okay.
It's like expecting a veterinarian to do human surgery. It's different animals, different beasts, completely different, right? Like, they can poke you. They know how to use a knife, right? They'll, like, split you open, but they're going to botch you up.
Yeah.
Right? Because they don't know what they're talking about. There's no other way to say it. They don't know what they're talking about. You know? They've never lived it. They definitely haven't overcame it. And they don't know how to help you. You know, the best they can do is, I don't blame them too. They're just not educated. But I don't blame them because they try to do their best, right? I'm not saying they're malicious. Like, they try to do their best. But expecting them to help you is, like, how could you even do that?
You can't.
How could you even do that? You can't. It's impossible. Impossible. I've literally yet to this day, I've never heard someone tell me, I went to therapy and it cured my DPDR. Like, he or she told me exactly what to do every single day. It was the perfect action plan. He rewired my brain. It's never happened. It's never happened.
I gotta mention ChatGPT too.
Oh,
People that think ChatGPT, the information you hear from ChatGPT, one is the information isn't emotionally there. So if I wanted to give you, let's say I was Andres' coach or whatever, and I was trying to coach you on how to overcome this thing. The information I give you is not going to be driven based off of actually how you feel, and it's not personalized towards you. And when we say like your higher self, it's with DPDR, it's like you can have one thing that works, but it takes that person's exact case and scenario in their life and the way they feel and how they're feeling and responding.
Yeah, and
you
that's
can't
why
do that with just
And that's why it's really tough, like, when people ask me, how do I overcome it? Like, I wish I could tell them. Like, when someone commented on the video, how do I get rid of this? Like, I promise you guys, I wish I could go through the screen and I ask you the right questions and help you, but I can't do that because it doesn't work like that. The best I could do is tell you to watch my content, take action in your life, and be the best version of you, right? I can't even tell you to rewire your brain because you don't even know how to do that. But I can tell you, be the best version of you. That's the best thing I could do because it pushes them to take action, pushes them to actually do something, you know? Speaking about ChatGPT real quick, I used ChatGPT a lot when I was in DPDR, and it's just not great. It's just not great. And it feeds a lot of like...
It's terrible.
It's not great. But that's why, as you know, I've been working on my own AI for like it's been almost a year now. It's been almost a year now where I set out to create my DPDR.ai. And we're almost there. Like, we're almost so close to being there. I just want to perfect it so much. And when I launch this is going to change the world. So for you guys that don't know, I'm launching an AI, a chat AI, that will essentially guide you through a full entire recovery, personalized to you. And it's going to change everything. Like, it's literally going to change everything. I can't wait for that to drop. So if you're watching this right now, follow my Instagram at DPDR Founder and stay tuned to when that's dropping. But I'm really excited for that. But anyways, let's just go straight into how to overcome DPDR. How to overcome DPDR, okay? I think there's a couple steps to this, okay? I think I wrote something down just to, let me remember. Yeah. Number one is you need to know what DPDR is. If you don't know what DPDR actually is, you're just fighting ghosts. Like, you can't even see what you're doing. You're just fighting ghosts, right? But once you understand that DPDR is simply just a feedback loop, it's a feedback loop of anxiety, it's a feedback loop of the thought habit of DPDR, things start to become a little bit clear, okay? A lot of you guys don't know, so I'm gonna educate you on what DPDR is, okay? Actually, I'm gonna pull out my phone because there's a certain, look, I'm gonna pull it up right now. One sec. how I explained it right here in my course is gold. Okay. Understanding the feedback loop of DPDR. This is everything right here. Okay. Number one is the trigger. Whatever happened that day, whether it was an overwhelm of the nervous system, stress, panic attack, whatever it is, your body went to this disassociative state, right? So DPDR is just a disassociative state that your brain uses when it's too overwhelmed. And how I like to explain it is like, you have a cup right here, right? Your nervous system is this, and it has a tolerance of what it can handle before it explodes, essentially, before it disassociates, right? Whatever it is that triggered you got you to the top of the cup, and then it overflowed. And when it overflows, your brain is like, okay, this is too much to handle right now, so I'm going to disassociate. And it disassociates, it puts you in the state where you're disassociated from reality, right?
Yeah.
So that initial trigger, whatever it was, DPDR is only supposed to last a couple hours, a couple days, max. But what happens, what everyone did watching this, is we freaked out. Reddit, Google, someone tell me what's going wrong, what's going on with me. Doctors, obsessively researching, obsessively trying to figure out what's wrong. What that does is it leaves a very deep emotional imprint in the mind where you're always on now you're always hyper alert because you're scared of the feelings, and now you're getting anxiety because of the feelings, and now you're scared of it turning into something else, right?
It's a feedback
It's a feedback loop. So that number one is a trigger. Then it's the fear of detachment. What's happening to me? Am I going crazy? And then number three is the hyper focus. You start to monitor yourself. You're checking if you're real. Does Nick look real? Does your mom look real? If your hands, am I still feeling it? And then that hyper focus and fear creates more anxiety. So your nervous system stays on alert and it doesn't let go of the DPDR state that you're in because it still thinks that you're in danger. Mm-hmm. And this anxiety leads to more DPDR. And then every time you react with fear, to the DPDR, your brain keeps thinking that it's dangerous. You get stuck in this feedback loop, right? So if you understand that, things become more clear. And then from there, number two, this is so overlooked, is you have to stop feeling sorry for yourself. You have to stop feeling sorry for yourself. This is something that I know almost everyone's gone through. It's like, why me? Why do I have to go through this? I'm so I miss my old self. I'm so depressed with my life. You just feel this deep sense of depression. I have something to say about that. Yeah, go ahead.
So the fastest way to move on from derealization in general is to find something good out of it. That's the biggest thing is finding, I can say this, you'll never move on from DPDR until you accept that this was the greatest thing that's ever happened to you. That's the way. You have to change how things are happening to you. So when this thing happens to you, you have to find the one thing. For me, I was a complete, degenerate loser, right? Wasting my life away, sleeping in, getting drunk every weekend, just I had no purpose, right? So now I'm actually able to help people. I'm able to, travel, do all these cool things, be able to live life, have fun again, actually be able to live in the present. So for me, it saved my life and it changed my life. And because of that, I'm no longer feeling sorry for myself, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I love that. Finding purpose is important. I said, the purpose should be to become the best version of yourself, to be the highest version of you.
That's it.
Because you only have one life. This is your moment. If you ever had a moment in your life, look at it like this. The next, whatever you want to call it, tell yourself for the next 30 days, I'm going to give it my all. For the first time in my life, I'm actually going to go all in on something, and I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to stick to all my daily non-negotiables. I'm going to be the best version of me. I'm going to do what I know needs to be done. And you feel empowered by that. And if you actually take action on it, it gives you a sense of purpose. You're looking forward to the next day, to proving that you can be that guy, So that's really important.
Yeah.
But yeah, stop feeling sorry for yourself. It is literally a blessing in disguise. And of course it's tough to talk about this because a lot of people in that state, you don't feel like it's a blessing at all. Right? We have to talk about that for another 30 minutes. But anyways, oh wait, I had it right here. Where'd it go? Oh, I was just take action. I remember, just take action, right? So number one, you understand what DPDR is. It's not this scary mental illness, this permanent devilish thing. It's not. It's simply your brain protecting you from that one overwhelming event. And unfortunately, you caused the DPDR. I myself, I'll take responsibility. It was my fault that I went through all those Reddits, that I went through obsessively researching, right? But how could I not? How could I not? Could have you not done that?
Yeah.
It's like, it's so bizarre that you almost have to do that. But if you hadn't had done that, I promise you, it'd be normal. You'd be normal, right? But we've all done that, right? So that's in the past. It happened, right? Which leads me to my next point. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. You're in this state. You have to fully accept it, right? People preach about like, you have to accept it, live your life, accept it, live your life. Yes, kinda, but accept the fact that this is what you have to go through right now to therefore become the best version of you. Don't go back to your normal life. I hate that misconception. It's the worst misconception ever, that just go back to how you were living. That is horribly lies. Because if I went back to how I was living, I would have been dead.
Yeah.
Straight up, I would have been dead. A lot of people go back to how they're living. They do normal
Never.
things again. What does that mean? Normal
Never.
things is what got you in this state. So why are we repeating history and doing the exact same thing that's going to perpetuate you in this cycle, right? Nothing changes and nothing changes, right? Stop feeling sorry for yourself. You can recover. You will recover. Take action. That's my last one. Take action. Create an action plan on your phone right now. Take action today. Don't wait till tomorrow morning. Do something today, and then you can fully do it tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
And then keep doing it every single day until your brain rewires. Because neuroplasticity happens through consistency and intensity.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen in a day or in 2 days. It happens every single day.
Yeah. And I have to say, guys, it's about knowing your why at the end of the day. Why are you doing this? It can't only be about yourself. It can't only be about yourself. Look at this cup right here. If I am holding a cup and I'm empty, I'm going through DPDR, I'm suffering, I'm going to have nothing to give to my family, my friends, my wife, whatever it is. I'm going to have nothing to give. But what happens is when you learn to weaponize the struggle, literally look at your DPDR, look at the struggle and say, this didn't happen to me. It happened for me. This was the best thing that's ever happened to me. You're past that identity. You moved on from it. In that moment, you have so much to give to your family, your friends, your sister, whoever it is. You have so much to give, and you have the ability to help other people, to change lives, to do things you never thought was possible. But you have to look at this and say, this was good. This was the greatest thing. And what I think is also extremely important when it comes to recovery is also realizing that life is a mirror at the end of the day. And a lot of times people will try to look inside, like every single thing you do is being reflected out. And a lot of times people try to change the reflection, things that are happening to them, without changing the image in front of the mirror. And you are the image. You have to change yourself,
You have to change
not
yourself.
your life.
The problem is you at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep it very straight. I'm just going to keep it harsh truth for the next however long we have. The problem is you. There's no other way around it.
Yeah.
You have to take responsibility for your life, okay? You are the person that got yourself in the state. Stop blaming it on whether it was the weed. Stop blaming it on something else. It was you. Your own decisions,
It's your fault.
your habits. Take responsibility, take accountability. I'm not saying you're the worst person in the world. No, I'm saying you fucked up. Simple. I fucked up. You fucked up. We all fucked up.
We're human.
So we're human. We have to take responsibility, because if you're always deflecting accountability, you're never going to understand that the purpose is you. This whole time, your nervous system has been trying to tell you, whatever your name is, it's been trying to tell you, Nick, please take care of yourself. Please do the things you know you have to do. And every time you chose not to do those things, it took account. Like, okay, another day, he's still being lazy. He's still not doing what he has to do. We know we're capable of so much, but we're not doing it, right? So I want you to, watching this right now. If you were your nervous system, what would you have done, okay? If you were your nervous system and you're watching your person and he or she is waking up late, has no morning routine, has no structure, hanging around the wrong friends, eating junk food, not drinking water, not taking care of themselves. At what point do you just tell them, hey, we need to do something about this, right? Because you would be a terrible nervous system if you're just going to let your human do whatever it wants to do.
Terrible.
Right? It would be terrible. That's the whole point of your nervous system is it keeps you safe. It keeps you safe, quite literally. And if you neglect yourself every single time, at a certain point, your nervous system is like, hey, this is it. This is my breaking point. So if you were your nervous system, what other choice would you have? If I was my nervous system, thank God that happened, Because if not, I would have lived the rest of my life so average and mediocre, right? Thank God that my nervous system was aware. It's like, hey, we have to do something about this. And obviously that signal is anxiety. That signal is DPDR, right? So in that moment, we're like, what's wrong with me? This is the worst thing ever. But what's really happening is your nervous system's like, hey, we've had enough. You need to fix this. And I'm going to put you in timeout. That's basically what it's doing.
Yeah.
It's punishing you because you weren't taking care of yourself for that so long.
Exactly. Dude,
That's game changing right there.
Yeah. And what changed my life forever, you guys heard, you know, how I was losing my relationship with God and everything. What happened after I recovered is, so when I was super young, we'd have to say this, like, every single one of you guys, if you have DPDR, that means you have so much potential. I truly believe
Agreed.
you were given this struggle because the person that you were and the person that you were becoming wasn't aligned with your life's purpose. So for me, I used to pray for things. And I used to ask God, I'd be like, can I be successful? Can I, you know, just live all these things? But the truth was, I didn't get my prayers answered right away. I had to become the person who could do those things. So throughout all the hard times, throughout all the struggles, throughout all the times to where I'd question if I'm ever going to be able to live anymore. So I'm questioning if I recognize anything around me. I thought my life was over. Those were all character building moments that were actually sculpting me into the person I was becoming. So you guys going through the struggle right now, appreciate this time because this is like the moment that you're going to look back on and be like, man, I would never take this back. I would never regret a thing. This was actually what created me into the person I was becoming. And I saw this one thing. I think it was Alex Hormozy. It was like, if you had to create someone, what would you put them through to become that person?
Ooh, I like that.
What would you put yourself through to become the person that you've always wanted to become? I guarantee you wouldn't give yourself an easy, perfect life.
It's impossible. Yeah. One thing I would say about that is every single one of my clients are amazing people. Just like people who are ambitious,
Amazing.
People who had goals for themselves, who genuinely like were not like, they all have high hopes, high ambitions, but the problem was that they were misaligned.
Yeah.
So they wanted to do all these things, and I have all the data. I have it all in my course. I ask every single person before they join the program, what are your goals? What does the best version of yourself look like, right? And they all tell me, like, whatever it is, like, I want to be able to take care of myself, like, financially. I want to reach this goal. I want to be a great, confident person. I want to have a great family. They are great people. They want these great things, but your actions were not reflecting that.
At all.
Right? At all. Your actions were reflecting someone who didn't want anything for themselves. So again, if you were your nervous system and you knew, okay, we want all these things, but why isn't he doing anything? What is he doing? You know, it's like you're just misaligned. DPDR is simply a symptom of you becoming misaligned. That's all it is.
That's it. Sign of
That's
misalignment.
literally all it is.
Yeah.
Your life was misaligned one way or another. Sometimes it's obvious. With a bunch of my clients, I'm just like, boom, boom. Like, it was so simple. It's like, all you had to do was X, Y, Z, right? With some other of my clients, it's deeper. Like, some of them have their habits in check. Some of them actually are living good lives. You know, they're financially stable, X, Y, Z. But there's something always missing. Something always missing. No matter how much they thought they were doing the right thing, right? So many clients come to me like, wait, my sleep's in check, my food, my job, my this. But there's something always missing. And one key point too is that most people do these things, whether it's fixing your sleep, because they want to get rid of the DPDR.
Yeah.
And that's when we can bring up this topic where if you're doing things for the sole reason of trying to get rid of this thing, that's just letting your nervous system know that this thing is important. Your brain is just attention-based, it's focus-based. You're just telling your brain, this thing is important. We have to get rid of it. So I need to fix my sleep. I need to drink my water. I need to go exercise. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works, you know? You have to be so detached from recovery as a whole. But it's tough because it's contradicting, right? We said earlier, you have to want it as bad as you want to breathe. It's life or death. Yes. In the beginning, you have to have that mindset where it's like, this is life or death. I have to overcome this or it's over for me, right? But you have to shift your perspective. And this one shift is very hard to do by yourself. Like, this one shift is, if you don't have someone like us guiding you through this process, it's going to be damn near impossible to have this shift. But we're going to sprinkle it in here because if you can learn to be like, okay, I don't care about recovery. I just care about becoming the best version of me. Because remember, the only reason why you're in this state in the beginning is because you're misaligned. Your nervous system was like, hey, wake up. So if you can take the signal and be like, okay, clearly I just need to become the best version of me. So I don't care about recovery. Let's just become the best version of me. Then all of a sudden you're actually doing it for the right reasons, and then you will recover.
Yeah.
But it is a very hard concept. I agree. And that's why you need someone like us to like guide you through it.
Exactly.
But you don't need it. You don't need someone like us because we did it by ourselves. But there's a lot of high level things that like to get from 0 to 100, or even to get from, I have so many clients come to me, they're like 90% recovered. To get from 90 to 100, it's a lot. Like it depends. There's a lot of factors at play, you know? So,
and, I have to say something about that too. So that what happens is when you guys are really struggling, you have no idea what's going on, the action plan will change your life because you'll know exactly what to do in every single day. So doing that, you can actually detach from the outcome. And
that's a good point.
Something that changed my life is something called the law of detachment. So meaning when you are so gripped onto the outcome and you need to recover so bad, one, that's a good thing, but it gets you to a point to where there's resistance.
Yeah.
And what happens is when you can detach from the outcome, so have your actions every single day, being that desperation of needing to recover, but mentally detaching, you just flow. So what happens is we give you a plan that's aligned with the best, highest version of yourself. We create an action plan that's actually going to be aligned with your best self. You love to do it. And in doing so, when you attack that plan every single solitary day of your life, you can detach from seeing if it's going to work or not, because you know it's going to work because it's been proven to work hundreds of times.
That's so true. That's a great point. It's a really great point. When you're on a proven plan, you already know you're going to recover.
Yeah.
So it gives you so much safety. It gives you so much safety. We got a couple minutes left here, so I want to end off with like some really, really key points.
Yeah, of course.
I just had it. What was I going to go over? Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to be honest. There's always two types of people. And you know this, Nick, after helping and, talking to someone, there's always types of people. There's a one person who is going to just make excuses. They're going to come up with every reason under the sun why they're special, why they're different, why Nick can recover, why hundreds of my clients can recover, but they can't recover. And they're going to hold on to that as long as they want. Years, their whole life if they want to, right? They're going to think, I'm the special case. They're going to think, yeah, his clients, whatever. Or there's the other type of person who conceptualizes what we're saying, who understands that they need a change in their lives, that understand that they need to be better. They understand their life is on the line. And if they don't do something about this today, you might never get a chance again.
Yeah.
And they'll take the action necessary. They'll reach out to us. They're going to make it happen. They're going to recover. Simple, right? There's always two types of people. Right? One of my favorite quotes is you're either going to find a way or you're going to make excuses. That's it. And it is cutthroat like that with DPDR recovery. It just simply is, Yeah, I mean, what would you end off with, Nick?
I'd say we're no different than you.
I love that.
We were in exactly the position you're in. And every single day, we thought we were the exception. We thought we were the one person. We thought we were the one person who couldn't recover. We were on Reddit. We were reading all these things of all these people. But what changed for us, that will eventually change for you, because I know you're going to make you actually want to make this change. Clearly, if you made it this far in a video, you definitely actually care about yourself. Decide that you are no different. Until you decide that you can do it, you can't, right? If you tell yourself you can't do something, you can't. So never say I can't. And there's one person who will make an excuse for every single reason why they can't, and one person who they find every reason in the world to why they can.
And they just find a way. Like there's so many people that come into my program where they just have to find a way. It's not a matter of like if they do it, it's like how they're going to make it happen. Yeah. It's that simple. Yeah. But yeah, I want to end off just by saying like what Nick said. I mean, the first hour of this video, you saw like how emotional I was getting and how like deep I was in that. That I've been through it. I have. Nick and I have both been there. But you saw me switch into coach mode where it's no BS. It's no BS. We don't play games here. This isn't just like, oh yeah, I want to make you feel better. No, I want you to recover. I don't care if I don't care if you take it personal or not. I want the best for you, whoever it is watching this video. And as long as you decide that is life or death and you would rather not live than live another second with this, that's when everything changes. When you get to the turning point of like, today is the day. Today is the day where everything changes for me. I will recover. I like it should hurt. It should fire you up. It should get you angry that there's someone like myself with no coach, not this video, no therapist, no help, no course, no nothing, and I recovered in 5 weeks.
Legend.
5 weeks. That should piss you off a little bit and also give you some hope.
Yeah.
You know, look at my client result. Look at Nick's client results. They've all made it happen, and they were all just like you. They're not special in any sense.
Got it. Yeah.
They all decided enough was enough. Recovery is a choice. You can choose after watching this if you're going to be stuck with DPDR or if you're going to make a change and actually recover and have a story to tell. And maybe one day you can make a YouTube video helping others. You know, you're going to make it out and you're going to live the best life possible.
Yeah. And there's a person who sits there and says, I can't do it. And there's a person who doesn't. And what I can say is it's not about how you recover. It's about the person you have to become. And every single thing you have to do from here on after watching this video, make it reflect your higher self and your recovered you.
That's it.
Let's do it.
I love you guys. I love every single one of you guys. You guys are very special to me because you know what it's like to go through that hell. And everything I said here was with intention, with love, with care, because I love you, because I want the best for you. Take action. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Make it happen. And text me when you're done. Text me that you recovered, whenever it is.
Yeah.
Text me.
That's
All right.
awesome.
Cool. We're done.
Cool.